Good morning, uh, my dear boys of class 12. Today I am going to complete a topic in the chapter Physiology and Sports. What are the physiological factors determining endurance? So, you know very well that endurance is the efficiency to continue work for long time without getting exhausted, without getting fatigued, tired. So, what are the physiological factors determining endurance? The first one is aerobic capacity. Now, what is aerobic capacity? Now, you know very well that muscles need oxygenated blood. The muscles, particularly which are active muscles in some particular activity. So, to work continuously, muscle muscles need oxygen, and muscles get oxygen from aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Supply of sufficient amount of oxygen to the active muscles is called aerobic capacity. Supply of sufficient amount of oxygen to the active muscles is known as the aerobic capacity. Now it has three subpoints. One is oxygen intake. So aerobic capacity depends upon the oxygen intake also. What is this? Now the amount of oxygen taken by our lungs is called oxygen intake. It depends upon the size of the lungs, number of the active alveoli, size of the chest cavity, strength of the muscles, because we need strength to inspire and expire, inspiration and expiration, we need strength. So these are the things. Number one. Number two, circulation of oxygen. Oxygen absorbed by our lungs bonds with hemoglobin and creates oxyhemoglobin. So this oxyhemoglobin gives us, enables our muscle to work. So this oxygenated blood comes towards the heart, and heart in turn, by pumping this, supply this oxygenated blood to all the active muscles, and we continue our work. This is circulation of oxygen. That means circulation of oxygenated blood. And oxygen consumption 3. Now the active muscles consume oxygen from the oxygenated blood, and this process of consuming oxygen is in by the active muscles is known as oxygen consumption. This is known as oxygen consumption. Now, so, and the biochemical reserves also. Biochemical reserves kya? As you were told earlier, as I have told earlier, that the presence of adenosine triphosphate and creatine phosphate, these are, they act as the energy resource. Understood? So, how long you will be able to continue your work without getting exhausted? It depends upon the reservoir of chemical substances like adenosine triphosphate and creatine phosphate. Next point, lactic acid tolerance. You know very well, while doing activity, lactic acid is deposited, and which creates a lot of problem in the mechanism of our respiration, and it creates a lot of problem uh, for the active muscles to work smoothly. It is the source of exhaustion. We get exhausted because of lactic acid, जो मसल्स के बीच बीच में जम जाता है. So if we can tolerate lactic acid, we can continue our work for a long time. If we cannot tolerate lactic acid, we get exhausted, out of breath. Next point, movement economy. Endurance depends upon the economical movement also. Synchronize the movement economical the movement, rhythmic the movement, energy consumption will be less. More the movement are economical, less the consumption of energy. I told you earlier, the rhythmic movement, economical movement consumes less energy. So endurance depends upon the economy of movement and smooth movement also. And last, muscles composition. As I told you earlier, that we are having two muscles in our body, two types of muscles. All of us we are having. One is red fiber, one is white fiber. One who is having red fiber more in number in his body, he or she can work for long time without getting exhausted. And on the contrary, those who are having white fiber more in number in their body, they do their work very fast but for short span of time. Now today after this, see you in the next topic. Thank you very much.